Good evening and welcome to our fifth live stream. Gosh, time's flying. And talking about time, that is the name of the song we're doing today. We are doing Time. We have special guest here. Nigel Voyle is going to come on later, just in case everyone's going, who is this manager guy who manages the Korgis? Nigel Voyle, where did he come from? Well, tonight you're going to find out all the answers to that question and many more that you haven't thought of yet. Meanwhile, here we go. We are going to spin the record deck. Yes, we are.
I've been burying facts, I've been covering my tracks, I've been staying alert, I've been digging the dirt. On all of your heroes, reduce them to zeros. Nero's got nothing on me now. I've been tinkering with things, I've been pulling the strings. No, there's nothing more sad than a clown that's gone mad. While democracy teeters, we make you our leader. The luckiest bleeder is me now. Time is my healer, I know it will. I've got time to fly and time to kill. Time is just dying to add another layer to the onion. While you're making amends, I've been trashing our friends. Ask me, did I behave? I'll admit it's a haze. Every new headline takes minds off the deadline. The breadline is not for the chosen. Time is my healer, I know it will. I've got time to fly and time to kill. Time is just dying to add another layer to the I'm unstoppable now. I'm a blossoming flower. Keep your eye on the clock of this rock and roll plot. Our great pretender obscures the agenda, content in the glory of I've been burying facts, I've been covering my tracks, I've been very alert while I'm digging the dirt. Repent if I could, do you think that I would, when the good life is just for the chosen?
There we were, Time, Song for Dom, in brackets Song for Dom. think James just wanted to call it Song for Dom, but I went, it won't tie into the cartoon then because we've got a cartoon called Time. So yeah, it ended up as Time, Song for Dom. Of course, the person we're talking about there is Dominic Cummings, and we're going to talk about him in a little while. It'd be interested to know where you stand on Dominic Cummings, but whatever you think, he's quite a clever man. Anyway, we are here to play you things, to talk about things, to give away things, and all stuff like that. But in order to get any of these things, you need to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Now, I know there's quite a few of you who've already done that, so thank you very much. And also, if you have not yet picked up your copy of Kartoon World, have we got a copy of Kartoon World here? Bound to have one somewhere, haven't we? Maybe not. We'll find one in a little bit. I'm sure we've got one lying around. I'm sure we've got a few hundred lying around here somewhere. If you haven't already got your copy of Kartoon World, nip on over to the Korgis.com and pick yourself up on. Forget this live stream. Go buy the album. And you can also sign up there. You can subscribe to us there.
That was easy.
As Leah, my daughter, would say, smash the subscribe button. Smash it. There we go.
That was easy.
That's what happens when you smash it. So always early on, we like to get what the quiz question is so that you can get your grey matter going. And so last week we didn't have any lucky winners. But there were a lot of guesses, especially from Elaine Brokenshaw, who I think probably listed almost every David Bowie song that we'd heard of, and definitely a few we hadn't heard of, except for the one that it was. So anyway, we have a different quiz question. We're still giving away a Korgis Kartoon World t-shirt, very much like the one I have on there. So we're still giving away one of them. However, if you've already got one of them, you say, I'd rather have a 40 years of the Korgis cartoon, no, sorry, 40 years of the Korgis t-shirt, you can have that instead. We're very flexible with our prizes, but you've got to get the answer right, okay? We're not giving you nothing if you don't get the answer right. So I think straight away we're going to go on to the... Oh, yeah, hang on. Yeah, Nigel's got to look at this array of goodies there. Look at that. Look at that. So, yeah, if you haven't got one of them, get one of them. Whew. Or if you don't want one of them, get one of them. Yeah. They're both. Get them both. Get them both. Actually, Kathy from Canada, who I'm not sure if Kathy is with us. She's been with us every other live stream. Kathy O, she is. Kathy had already bought the double CD, and she saw me. She saw me doing an expose of what was in the box set, and she went and bought the box set as well. And I said I should go on QVC. She went, I reckon you should because I've just bought it.
Good old Kathy.
Good old Kathy, yeah. So we are going to find you the quiz question. Da-da-da. And this quiz question, before I show you it on the screen, part of it is to do with the new single. The new single, which is a co-write between the Korgis and Joe Matera. And that's how he says his name, Joe Matera, because he's Australian. And he says everything like that. He does, Joe Matera. So it's our collaboration with Joe, and it's a brilliant song, or we think it's a brilliant song anyway, called Always a Sunny Day. If it had a subtitle or a bracket, it'd be Always a Sunny Day When You Live Your Life Above the Clouds. And isn't that right? So this is the relationship here. I'll just read you the question and we'll get on with it. I'll stick it up on screen now. The lyrics for our new collaboration with Joe Matera read, from anti-establishment ethos to a nowhere man without a home, while I flew up to heaven and made my living as the emperor of Rome. What is the connection between this lyric and the song Time? I'm going to read it one more time, okay? The lyric for our new collaboration with Joe Matera reads, from anti-establishment ethos to a nowhere man without a home, while I flew up to heaven and made my living as the emperor of Rome. What is the connection between this lyric and the song Time? First person with the correct answer gets the prize. But if you don't get the correct answer, and it's quite a tricky one here, but I think if you put your thinking caps on, somebody will get this week. We hope so anyway. We hope so. We like to give away things.
Exactly.
We do. So that's a quiz question. And I think let's just get on and let's have a little look at Time. how did this song begin? Well, I think after we just started work on a couple of songs, and James came across and he said, I've got about 5 different pieces that I've been working on. You fancy having a listen to some of them? And there's a few of these pieces that made it onto the album. And this first one was called Fantasy Waltz. And you will recognize it. You'll recognize it because it sounds a bit like this.
I've been looking around, my feet on the ground, taking my time with words that won't rhyme.
Glenn Tommy on keyboards, I believe.
Thinking about the circles around the lingering love inside. I've been chasing my tail through laughter and kale, deciding to fly, then wondering why. Every connection is somewhere beyond the opening gates of time.
That'll be better. There we are. So, as you all have noticed, none of the lyrics were the same. I quite liked some of the lyrics that were there. And I said to James, I quite like some of those. And he went, nah, it's all rubbish. I just made it up as I went along. No, we need some better lyrics than that. There was something about a lobster and whatnot, but I don't know how that fitted in. But it was, we would have got it to mean something, surely. Of course we would have. So that was an original demo. I think John and James and Glenn just sat in Glenn's studio for a little while and just worked through some ideas. And that was I think it was really goodie. As soon as I heard it, I thought, oh, it's really kind of quite magical. And also because of that blink dong ding blink ding, I could just imagine the workings of the clock going I thought, there we have our cartoon for time. Of course, Leah had done a cartoon, and I'll stick this on screen, but I'll tell you what it's about, really. So it says here, Paul Smith has written a TV sitcom where the star is a magical clock. Star is a magical clock. So I think the idea was that every week there'd be a different, there would be a different episode, and the clock would strike a certain hour, and you would be whisked through the clock through to some weird and wonderful place. A bit like Fantasy Island, really, or something like that. You know, modern day Fantasy Island. So that was kind of the theme of it. I think a bit later on, Paul got whisked off. In fact, we showed the cartoon for it where Paul got whisked off to a little island where they had. He was sitting there going, "This is the life." But there was a giant red herring, and there was a little boy with a sword who was flying. So I think there's some Peter Pan references there somewhere. Anyway, that's a cartoon that Leah did for it, and that then became the kind of inspiration, and then we kind of wrote a whole load of other things. So loads of things to say about the lyrics and the meaning of all of that, and we'll come to them in the fullness of time. I'm not sure, I think... oh, yeah. Now, let's come to one of them now. Let's just talk about Dominic Cummings, shall we? Let's talk about Dominic Cummings. Now, not everyone knows this, but I would think a lot of people do, especially as there was a dramatization about it. But Dominic Cummings was the man behind the Brexit campaign. He was the man behind Leave Britain. So for that reason, there's probably quite a lot of people hate him, really. However, it must be said he was very clever, and he employed a lot of technology into it in order to reach a lot of people that were previously unreachable. People that political parties have not been able to get to for years and years and years because they were off the grid. And because of this technology, they were able to find these people who wouldn't normally appear on any searches, who were not necessarily on Facebook or anything like that. And they went knocking around on their door. I think his principle was that the people who want to leave are going to vote leave, and the people who want to stay are going to vote stay. And all you're after is the people in the middle who haven't made their mind up yet. So he targeted them by very clever means. So that was one thing. Whichever side of the Brexit debate you're on is kind of irrelevant to this. The fact is he actually managed his side of it very well and ran rings around the government campaign. And so then when he became Boris Johnson's aide, he made it known that government wasn't equipped to do the job because they didn't have the technology. Had no technology in the office whatsoever. Lo and behold, here he goes. He gets brought in to number 10 by Boris, and he installs all the technology. So all the stuff that he thought the government wouldn't have. And I think that's why, in some ways, that they've had better press, because all of this stuff is going on behind the scenes of the technology of, it's kind of propaganda technology, really. It's telling people, oh, this is the way you really want to vote. This is the way oh, Boris, he's not so bad, is he? He's a lovable rogue. Look at his hair. Lovely, isn't it? That's good, yeah. He did all those parties at number 10. Let it go. I mean, he said sorry. That's enough, isn't it, surely? Okay, so that is why Dominic Cummings was the most dangerous man in politics, or perhaps still is. Who knows whether he's still pulling some strings somewhere or not. But because he brought the technology in, it's the first time that a government in this country has really had that at their disposal. And so it's like a big experiment going on right now. You and me, we're all part of the experiment. Let us know how you feel about that. We'd be intrigued. We would be intrigued. Yeah. So there we are. So I think that is all I wanted to do about time at the moment, because in a couple of minutes we're going to bring on my good friend and Korgis manager, Nigel Voyle. We're going to bring him on very soon. But first, we're just going to do a little recap. We're going to say, for anyone who's just joined us, we're talking about the song Time, open brackets, song for Dom, close brackets. And we are going through all the little bits of it, and we'll play some things. We'll look at the backing vocals. I've got a couple of other little surprises as well. In the meantime, if you haven't hit the subscribe button on YouTube,
That was easy.
haven't smashed the subscribe button. I must get down with the kids with my lingo. I really must. If you haven't done that, do it now. It's just underneath. I know sometimes people say, oh, I'm watching this on TV and I can't join the chat and I can't do this. Well, get your phone out and tune in on your phone, and then you can hit the subscribe button and you can chat at the same time as watch it on your nice big screen. So that's a win-win-win situation. If you haven't got Cartoon World, go across to Korgis.com. Oh, this is something we've been meaning to push. If you are a Spotify user, we would love, love, love you to put some of the songs from Cartoon World on your playlists, because that makes an enormous difference. We know that Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime has something like 500,000 hits per month on Spotify, and that's mainly from other people's playlists. It's not from people going, oh, there's Korgis, lovely guys, we're going to wander across to their page and play Everybody's Got to Learn Sometime. No, they put them all on their playlists, and people all around the world are playing them. I think, what did we have? We had a demographic night, didn't we, where on one day, and this was just after lockdown happened in this country, and everyone was going, oh my God, COVID and all of that. And I think at some point in the world, we had something like 700 or 800 people playing that song at the one time, at the one instant. They were all playing that song. So we became the voice of the generation right there, I think. Yes, we did. So I am going to bring you, we're not going to do the round of applause yet because we're not quite right. We're going to bring you to our special guest, Nigel Voyle. However, I'm going to play you a little film. I'm going to have to tell you a little bit about this, or you'll go, what on earth is that? Set the scene. We are in Morocco. We're at the largest sports stadium in Morocco, Rabat Stadium. I think it holds 40,000 people, and I think it was pretty close to full the night that we did this gig. It was something like a 40-piece band. I think were there 12 dancers or
32-piece band and 14 dancers.
32-piece band and 14 dancers. And so this was about the weirdest gig we've ever did, but it was an awful lot of fun. And we even wrote a song about it afterwards. So without further ado, I'm just going to play you a little YouTube clip of us. And at one point it pans around onto the backing vocalist. Bear in mind there were how many backing vocalists? Six backing vocalists on this. It pans around and you'll just catch a glimpse of Nigel dancing. Just a little sniver. So here we go. This is us in Morocco. That was us live in Morocco. The gorgeous chick in the short skirt. That's very hard to say when you haven't enough coffee. Hang on a second, let's fix that. Is Lynn Ritchie. And Lynn Ritchie is a good friend of both of ours, not just because of Morocco, but before that. I'd written a lot of songs with Lynn, some corkers as well, and then we'd all worked with her as well, hadn't we? She'd done some vocals in the studio?
No,
not before Morocco.
No, we wrote songs with her as well.
We did, that's right. We did write songs with her as well. Yeah. So yeah, I can take you through all of those, who all of those people were. But there's a few of them that kind of we brought to this group because it was kind of run by a couple of guys that we know who just picked up everyone, all the best musicians they could find to put them in this band. I'll tell you what, Nigel, we haven't actually said a big round of applause for Nigel Boyle.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Sorry, that was very late.
Thank you for moving from there to here.
It's a very errant kind of audience. They're very kind of slow on the uptake. We're still fighting now. So, Morocco, we didn't know each other before Morocco, although we had a couple of people in common that we did know. So we did, didn't we? So we're doing this weird gig, and we all got to know each other quite well.
Because we were there 3 months, weren't we? 3 months. We did 10 gigs in 3 months.
That's right.
It was great, man.
We had a whole like 2 week period off in the middle where there was no gigs, and we had our own bus.
Yep.
And it was.
We went to the desert.
We did go to the desert. We went over the mountains to Taproot.
We did.
Remember that place? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a very scary journey as well, because you see all of those mountains in India where the buses are kind of crawling past each other like that. It was a little bit like that, and you'd look forward and you'd go, oh my God, there's a truck coming, and they wouldn't slow down much. They just kind of keep hurtling on. So it was a little bit scary.
And it's like biblical times, wasn't it? They've got trucks and things, but the houses are mud huts, and it's just bizarre.
Yeah. Well, Morocco is one of those countries, isn't it, where you've got some lovely houses with all the big gates and palm trees and stuff everywhere, and then you've got shacks next to them. And it was, wasn't it? It was
literally
like,
next to each other. Yeah.
And that there. Brilliant place, brilliant gig. We had a lot of ups and downs, though, didn't we?
Yeah.
We had a lot of.
Where we got locked out of the hotel. Because the gentleman who was employing us decided he didn't want to pay the bill, so we had to.
I think it was always cash flow with him, wasn't it? He was always going. In fact, this is. We wrote a song with a lot of lyrics, and one of them was demand, because everything is tomorrow. Yes, we'll pay you tomorrow. And after a little while of this, the hotel just said no. We're going to lock all of these people
And it-
out of their rooms.
And it was after a
until
gig
it's
as
paid.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got back
Yeah,
and
that's right.
we're just locked out. It was just bizarre.
So everyone's hanging around. And then eventually, Hassan Ididir, who was the star, who kind of was the guy out front of all of this, would come around and he'd pay the bill and all be very happy. And then they'd open the disco and they'd go, "You're all very welcome. You are our best friends. You're all..."
That's so true.
That
yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
That night,
Yeah.
they opened the disco for us
Yeah.
and went, "Yeah, thank you, we love you, etc. Now you paid the money." So there was that, and there were kind of money issues all the way along. Once we got towards the end, it became a little bit hazy about how we were getting home, as to
Yeah.
had anyone booked the flights. and towards the end of it, just Hassan disappeared.
Completely,
He just
yeah.
disappeared
Yeah.
altogether. And I mean, I had another experience with him in Paris as well, where Julian, who was a guy who conducted this big band, Julian is also played the soprano sax on time on the song you've just heard. He came in, he kind of, after a while, he just moved to Wales. He got fed up of working with inferior people and he moved up here. So I went to Paris with Julian to record another version of Eyes of Love or Africa or one of those. And Hassan just didn't turn up. And of course he was supposed to pay the studio when he turned up.
Of course.
He was supposed to
Yeah.
pay our hotel bills when he turned up. And I just remember the engineers, the French engineers going, "Where couscous? Where Hassan? Where couscous?" And so it was a bit like,
Yeah,
he's
if
not
you-
going to come. We still worked through the stuff, and I think he eventually finished it off. He must have paid them.
If you remember rightly, we went 3 years running.
Yeah,
And the third year, I was in charge.
yeah, that's right.
And I got him to pay us half up front or we weren't coming. Remember that?
That was the
Yeah.
smartest move ever.
And but it took a long time for the money to come through,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
We had everything booked, all the flights and everything, but we weren't going unless that
I
money
can't-
arrived.
I can't
But it
remember-
did, it
Yeah,
arrived.
I can't remember what it was, but I think the first year Julian said I had to find 30,000 quid to pay off the band, and he did, paid off all the band. And then the next year Hassan comes back and says, "Hey guys,
Let's do it again.
will you do it again if I pay you the money I owe you?" Which, okay, it's just a different way to do business.
Yeah, it's not a good way though, is it? Let's be
Well,
fair.
not
It's
for
not
us,
a good
not from
way.
our point of view,
No.
but you know, I guess maybe it's just a different country, a different mentality altogether. But it was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a hell of a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it was a lot of fun. And so we got talking,
We did.
and we were talking about where we lived. And
Yeah.
I think you said I live in Cardiff, and I
That's
went,
right.
"Oh yeah, I live
I
in
live in
Cardiff.
Cardiff.
I live in Cardiff as well."
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to kind of move these screens a little bit because I'm going to show you something in a second. It's going to be great. And where do you live in Cardiff? It was like
Cruise Road.
Cruis Road. Oh, in Cathays. And I went,
Yeah.
well, I live in Cathays as well. And
Yeah.
and I went, "Where on Cruis Road?" And he went, "Oh, just next to Monthermer Road." And I went, "I live on." So here we go. Here is the sat-nav journey from Casablanca up to where we live. It's a long way through France.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, across the channel. Turn left at London. And here we are. And there's my flat. That's my flat in Monthermer Road. And there's Nigel Boyle's house. Right round the corner.
Yeah, but
So-
we travelled all those miles to discover that we lived within spitting distance of each other. Incredible.
That's funny, isn't it? Because, and then those coincidents carried on a little bit because I can't remember who moved to St Mellons in Cardiff first. Was it you?
I think it was me.
I think it was
Yeah,
you.
I think it was me.
And then just by complete coincidence, I moved to St Mellons in Cardiff, and our kids ended up going to the same school
Yeah,
together.
incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So it's very handy now because we're just around the corner from each other. We just go, "Oh, I'll be there in 3 minutes."
And of course, when we came back from Morocco, we started a songwriting partnership.
We did, and we wrote
Yeah.
a lot of songs.
Hell
Didn't
of a
we?
lot of songs.
I mean,
yeah.
you eventually compiled them, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, 5 CDs, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe 6.
Yeah.
And that's just the ones we liked. There's a lot of songs. Yeah.
So probably to give you an idea of those songs, we're going to play a little something. And there's it's going to start off with the song we wrote about Morocco called "Waiting for the Man from the Land of the Couscous." Because couscous is Morocco's national dish, isn't it?
It is,
It
yeah.
is a tagine, which is a
yeah.
couscous-based dish, is a national dish. So, without further ado, I am going to find the film and play it to you now. Here we go.
Nobody with the bestest friend. Waiting for the man from the land of the couscous. Hey, hey, hey. Well, I'm down in my rooms again. Waiting for the man from the land of the couscous. Hey, nobody knows just where he
They seek him here, they seek him there, the elusive Idiot. No expense spared, no expenses paid. The wolf in chic clothing escapes unscathed.
Nobody with the bestest friend. Waiting for the man from the land of the couscous. Hey, hey, hey. Where's the boss and who's booked the plane? Waiting for the man from the land of the couscous. Hey, nobody knows just where he is. Waiting for the man, waiting for the man, waiting for the man.
Blaming on the heartbeat, for never ever letting go. Blaming on the cool that weakened our control. Blaming on the blind man, thought he knew the way to go. Blaming on the fools that never could be told.
Before you come back to my door, gotta do much better than before. Another number in your book, hardly worth a second look. I don't need that anymore. Before you come back to my door, gotta do much better than before. Another name upon your list, it's not so easy to resist. I don't need that anymore.
I stand alone after all these years. There is nothing, nothing, nothing that you can do to me. And if I fall, I'll wipe away my tears. I'll stand alone.
Crowds grabbing to touch as the cavalcade passes. Adulation on the grandest scale for the idols of the masses. They had faces there. Stars were all the rage.
They had faces there.
So,
We had hair. Lots of it.
apart from that, we look identical, don't we?
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Just like now with the twins. Twins. Yeah.
Hardly aged a day.
Wow. We were young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you saw Tony Clark on his boat,
Yeah.
producer of the Moody Blues. You know, Nights in White Satin. He produced that song.
He
and
did.
produced lots of stuff. He did a lot of Shirley Bassey stuff, some of the Bond things, all sorts of stuff. How did we get there? How did we end up on that boat?
We got there because a gentleman named Olaf Wiper was interested in managing us, right?
That's right.
And he thought he'd put us together with Tony Clark because Tony being a name,
Yeah.
it would be good for us. And it was, yet again, it was fun. The time on the boat was fantastic.
Yeah, and Tony did some really good
Yeah.
stuff. He had some really good ideas.
But then he sent us the mixes and they were just appalling. Truly, truly appalling.
I think I got a picture of him looking round somewhere, and I'd labelled it. Have you found the bass yet, Tony?
It was just awful.
Yeah, they were really just awful, awful, awful mixes. They sounded much better when we were there. When they were there,
yeah.
it sounded great.
Yeah. So anyway, I went back to Olaf and I said, we're not particularly happy with this. Olaf, would you mind asking Tony to remix them? and haven't heard from Olaf since, really. That was the end of that.
Yeah, I think it was a case of, Tony's one of my star contacts. I don't want to
Yeah.
upset him by
Yeah.
telling him that you hate his mixes. But I guess to us, it's just work, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
work. I mean, it's like if you're not happy with something, you redo it until you're happy with it. You just work on it until it's good.
And you know, at that time we'd been doing it for about 4 years.
And
We were producing better stuff in your
we
bedroom.
got quite good at home, hadn't we?
Yeah.
Even though we didn't
Yeah.
have lots of equipment, we started with an old Porter studio, your old
Yeah,
Porter studio,
that's
and then
right.
we had my slightly newer Porter
Oh.
studio, and these used cassette tapes in them. Now, okay, they were clever in the fact that they had 4 tracks and you could bounce and build up all sorts of stuff, but it was still quite a long way away from digital stuff these days,
Yeah.
you know, which is amazing.
Miles away.
But I think we redid that track, didn't we? Blame It on the Heartbeat
Well,
was the one.
that's the version we did in your
That's
bedroom.
the redone version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where we found the bass.
Yeah.
That he'd lost.
Oh. But he did have some, as you say, some good ideas, and we stole those ideas and put them on there.
Yeah, well, I think we all came up with them together, really, didn't we? So it was just a work in progress. But because we couldn't live with his mixes, we
No.
thought, well, let's at least kind of recreate it in a palatable, something you can listen to.
But those mixes did get us a deal with John Campbell. Yeah.
Of course, and I think we were talking about this the other day, and neither of us can quite remember
How the connection
how
came
it
about.
happened. I'm assuming you just thought, well, look, we need some management somewhere, and just wrote to loads of managers, and someone came back, and it turned out to be John. Who was a lovely bloke and had been involved with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, and then was involved with Shakespeare's sister.
Yeah.
What was their relationship with the Eurythmics? It was one, wasn't there? Shakespeare's sister were,
I can't remember.
or
You
maybe
know,
maybe Dave Stewart produced it or something like that.
Well, I would imagine that's true because he married one of Shakespeare's
He
sisters, didn't he? Yes.
I think
Yeah.
even at the time, I think that might have been the connection.
Yeah, that could have been it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. So we ended up with John Campbell, and I think he got us to strip some stuff back, didn't he? It was
He
like
did.
his thing was like, oh, there's a lot of stuff in it. And listening to it now, it is very dense, isn't it? You know,
Yeah. We had lots of ideas.
yeah, lots of ideas. I mean, I do at some point. I quite fancy revisiting them some, and maybe slowing some of the tempos down, and just thinking, where's the basis of the song? And let's just reproduce it again. We should do that with a couple of them. That'd be quite fun.
Yeah,
to
we
do,
could put
wouldn't
on
it?
an album.
well, who knows? You know,
Who knows? Who knows?
who knows? So I think we got to most of that. I think we've done most of that, haven't we? I think we should reiterate the competition. Just say, I'm not saying whether anyone's got it or not, but it would just be nice to see. Let's see. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to find the competition again. Quiz question. Quiz question on the screen now. Nige, can you read that from there?
I'll try.
Okay.
The lyrics for our new collaboration with Joe Matera read, "From anti-establishment ethos to a nowhere man without a home, while I flew up to heaven and made my living as the Emperor of Rome. What is the connection between this lyric and the song Time?" I don't
Sure.
know.
I know. So there we are. Keep giving the answers into that, and there we are. Well, what have we got next?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I was going to kind of have a little look at. I was going to have a little look at some of the Sonar stuff. Oh, maybe we should do this. I won't do that. No, I will. Yeah, I'll have a little look at the Sonar stuff that we've got on this.
I think I'll
Okay.
go back over there.
You're going
and
to go
talk
back
to
over there.
people.
You can
Yeah.
answer
Bye.
some of those questions there.
I'll try.
So I'll get rid of that chair there. So I'm just going to grab up the song here. Now this song Time it's the only one I know because I have to play it live. There are 3 guitar solos in a row, and I'm just going to try and find this little section here, which means I'll probably have to queue up the other things later. But hey, let's not worry about that. So I'm just going to find these, and you'll see how they all went. The first guitar solo is this really kind of overdriven thing that was really an afterthought. I think it was James and I were sat next to each other, and he went, "Do you know, it needs a guitar solo kind of in the middle of this somewhere. This would be really That'd be really good if if we just put a little something on there. I'm trying to find out. Yeah, I know what it is. I'm not in the right place there. That's what it is. I just want to mute that one. I'm going to show you this on screen. You'll see some of these. All of this green and yellow stuff. These are all guitars, sax, acoustic guitars, piano. They're all there. And we start with verse 4. Somewhere right around here, you will hear this solo come in.
I'm unstoppable now. I'm a blossoming flower. Keep your eye on the clock. On this rock and roll plot.
Next.
Our great
Oh,
pretender obscures the
sorry, I'll find that.
agenda contained to glorious.
Next solo. And there we are. That was our 3 guitar solos in a row. So the second, the last solo, which is a proper solo, was a kind of jazz thing, very much based on a guy called Larry Carlton, who was a big hero of mine. He played in the Crusaders for a little while. He played with Steely Dan. He played all of the guitar stuff on the Royal Scam, as well as some of the other things. So he was a bit of a hero of mine. So that was really very much his sound, that kind of 335, Gibson 335 kind of sound. The one before that was very kind of Beatles, back to George Harrison, me trying to be George Harrison. And then the one before that was James and I were sat and he went, I just think it needs something in here. And I picked up the guitar and went, what? You mean a bit like this? And I did the thing. See, I don't even need a guitar to do that. I can do that in my head. And we kind of looked at each other and went, yeah, that was it, wasn't it? So that was pretty much a one take solo. It isn't actually that difficult to play. It's just because the sound is so kind of fierce that it kind of sings all the way through. So there we are. That's the story of those. I'm going to come back to that in a second. In fact, I'm going to press this button while I'm here, because otherwise it will re-zero something, and I'm going to want something else in a second. So I'm going to turn that off, turn these on. So let's do a little recap of some news, shall we? What news, Nigel, what news have we got today?
Oh, quite a bit.
We have got a little bit. Obviously, tomorrow we're at the 100 Club in London. So if you can possibly make it, do. There are not that many tickets left. The place only holds 300, and I think at last count we'd sold over 200. So God knows what they are now. I haven't had a final ticket count from them. But we're assuming that is going to be heaving, and it's going to be a brilliant gig. It was fantastic last time. And of course, we've got all our new material to mix in with all of the old favourites as well. So that's a really good one. Other gigs coming up. It's quite a few people I've seen on here on the chat, because I can see the chat coming in. I don't get everything, but I get some of it. Saying, can't make the 100 Club, but we're going to see you at the Concord Club at Eastleigh. Well, that's good. That's good, because that is a brilliant venue. And in fact, up yesterday, Nigel, you put something up about today the history of the Concord Club. It's an old club. It was kind of formed by a jazz musician who just wanted to do the best music club that he could. I think the original Concord Club is now, it was in a slightly different location. They relocated on the edge of a river. They've got a hotel next to it, so you can stay the night if you want. There's a bit of a move for maybe, if you would be interested, please everyone let us know. If you'd be interested, maybe a couple of us might stay overnight and get together for a breakfast brunch in their, I'm trying to think what the name of their cafe is. I don't know. It's not the Slimy Slug. I think that's not a very good name for a cafe, is it? But it's something like Fig and Lettuce or something like that. You know, it could be. But there's a little bit of a move to do that. If you fancy doing that, if a few of you say yes, this would be a good idea. Or I know there's a couple of people that are very local down there. Just come in and join us, because you don't have to stay in the hotel. Also, they do lovely food there, so you can have, it's a bit like the chicken in the basket. You can have the chicken in the basket while you watch the cabaret. But I think they've got a really good menu down there. But do check it out if you fancy doing that. That'll be very good. Oh, okay, sorry. I've got Paul Smith ringing, but I'm not going to pick it up from Paul Smith. But thank you anyway. Paul. He's probably just wishing. Wishing us all the best for the gig tomorrow, because he is not on it, because he picked up COVID a few days ago, and he was all right, but he had a bit of a funny dizzy spell in the night. He fell over, banged his head, ended up in hospital, black eye, bandage over the head. And so someone asked me the other day, they said, is Paul going to be better for the gig? And I went, well, black eye, bit of blood loss, COVID, probably not. So we have a brilliant drummer called Gary Bentley who's filling in for him. Oh, okay. So here we go. This is Paul Smith's eye at the moment. So not in a very good shape. Not very good. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
How's that?
I don't know if you
Oh,
can see
I'm in the way.
No, it's too light, basically.
It's
the
too light.
screen. Never mind. Nice
Yeah,
try.
something like that. You probably see something of his black eye. Anyway, there we are. You probably ring up again and go, "What are you bloody showing everyone my black eye for?" But anyway, deepest sympathies to him, and I hope he gets well. I'm sure he will be well. We've spoken to him a few times. So Gary Bentley's covering the drums. I've done a good few gigs with Gary over the years. Started with the Supremes way back in the 90s into the 2000s, and then did a whole big Bublé tribute thing for a few years. And then him and I work in an Elton John band at the moment where I play bass on that. So we're still working together. So he was a logical choice to come in and do this. He's a very cool guy, and come up and say congratulations after you see him play, because you'll go, oh my God, I can't believe he's a Depp. He just sounds like he's been with the band forever. So be brilliant to have Gary there, but sorry, Paul can't be there. So that's what's happening there. Other gigs, we have a newish one, don't we, in Wokingham? Whitty Hall. Whitty Hall in
That's
Wokingham.
later in the year.
It is later in the year.
I'll find out.
Because John Baker said, what's his gig in Wokingham then? So Nigel will come through with the date for that in a second. Then there's a few other dates. I think we listed through them. They're all up on the Korgis.com. They're all up on our Facebook page and all that sort of stuff. So
16th of September.
16th of September, Wokingham, Whitty Hall. Whitty Hall. Is that? I wonder if is that a reference to comedians? Whitty Hall.
I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
No, I
It's
think
not
so.
spelled like that, is it?
Yeah.
Not spelled like that. So the other kind of big news is our collaboration with Joe Matera has just gone up for pre-order. It's only going to be on download, but I say it's only going to be on download. That isn't quite the truth, because with this download, you get all the paper parts to make yourself a CD. So if you're technologically minded and you've still got a CD burner anyway, you can either burn the MP3 to a CD, and then you can cut out the case and put it in, and then you can fold up the PDF that we put talking about why we made it, how we made it, etc. And you can fold that up and you can put it in, and you can make your own little CD. Now, if you're someone that doesn't like MP3s and go, how could you possibly listen? How could you possibly listen to an MP3? Give us a shout and we'll send you through a WAV file of it, and then you can burn a full bandwidth CD of it. I mean, for the people that are real audiophile experts, if you want a 24-bit WAV, I can send you one of them as well. So just get in touch. And in fact, anything you want to ask, please get in touch. You can either do that on the Korgis.com as a contact form, and in that contact form is something that says ask us something. And when you ask us something there, it comes straight through at our email address, and one of us will get back to you.
Elaine lets you know it's called the Mouldy Fig.
The Mouldy Fig. It's not called the Slug. No, it's not called the Slimy Slug. So the restaurant or the cafe at the Concord Club is called the Mouldy Fig.
And also Paul says, don't show my eye.
It's too late, Paul. It's too late, Paul. But you'll get a lot of sympathy, Paul. Next time anyone sees you, they go, oh, God, that eye looked really bad, mate. That really bad. So there we are. Is there any more questions or anything like
No,
that? Are we good? Okay, so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to just go to a little something I've got here, and this was a fake review that I did of the video, of what the video could possibly be about. So I'm going to stick this somewhere else. Hopefully I can still get to all of my things. Because I want a little bit of background music for this, just to set the mood. So I'm just going to go up here, 2 seconds, and here we go, and then we'll take you through it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's all right. Just leave you here. Oh. Good if this was better, but there we are. Okay. So it says here, the video opens with our hero Dom, still in the Dennis the Menace t-shirt he wore as a young boy. It is clearly too small for him, but of course, he never mentally outgrew it. He is being very mischievous and secretive and seems to be very amused by his tinkerings. Throughout the whole video, time is ticking away. The race to Brexit, the race to the demise of law and order, the hastening of the demise of natural beauty. As time ticks, it can be a healer, or as there is time to fly or time to kill. Time is dying to reveal the complex layers of pretense. In the answering backing vocals, verse 3, we get a peek into Dom's very early unhappy childhood, where he was lonely and bullied and vows to make them pay. In the middle, progressive rock section, Dom is pedaling furiously on a pink exercise bike. He feels unstoppable, but in fact, he is getting nowhere. This is followed by some finger pointing, and then the girls sing Dom, 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 Dom. And this ends with our hero pensively reflecting on whether he was good or bad, but ultimately realizing it doesn't matter, as he is predestined for a heavenly big finish. And there we are. That's the story of the video. The video. There's the video review for Song for Dom, Time. We had a lot of fun making that video. Anything we could think of with time and anything we think of with prog rock references, we just kind of found them all. So yeah, that was all good fun. And because I've just done a load of references to that video, and you might be going, I can't remember it. I don't think I've ever seen the video. We're going to play you the video now. It would be better if I hadn't closed every living window that I had here, but I think I've just got it again. So here we are. Have a look at the video for Time.
I've been burying facts. I've been covering my tracks. I've been staying alert. I've been digging the dirt. On all of your heroes, reduce them to zeros. Nero's got nothing on me now. I've been tinkering with things. I've been pulling the strings. No, there's nothing more sad than a clown that's gone mad. While democracy teeters, we make you our leader. The luckiest bleeder is me now. Time is my healer, I know it will. I've got time to fly and time to kill. Time is just dying to add another layer to the onion. While you're making amends, I've been trashing our friends. Did I behave? I'll admit it's a haze. Make them pay. Every Repent if I could. Do you think that I would when the good life is just for the chosen?
The wrong one. So I turned on another camera instead of thing. All I was going to say was, hope you really enjoyed the. Hope you enjoyed. Sorry, I've been talking for ages. Hope you enjoyed the video. We had a lot of fun making it. We had James out the back with all this stuff with the spade and the stone with the rest in peace facts on it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, lots of fun. And then of course John on his pink exercise bike upstairs. He was much slimmer after he'd done that video. I tell you, about 96 takes, you know. So there we are. So we're just about wrapping it up, but we've just got the competition, and Nigel informs me that we have a lucky winner. So before I announce who the lucky winner is, we're just going to recap on what the question is. I'm going to stick it up on the screen again, and there we are. So the lyrics for our new collaboration with Joe Matera read, "From anti-establishment ethos to a nowhere man without a home, while I flew up to heaven and made my living as the Emperor of Rome." What is the connection between this lyric and the song Time? Well, it's pretty obvious, really. In the song Time, all of our heroes reduced them to zeros. Nero's got nothing on me now. So yeah, Nero, of course, Emperor of Rome, famous Emperor of Rome. Lovely bloke, I believe, Nero. Yeah, nice guy. Sort of guy you want to hang out with, keep on the right side of as well. So we have a lucky winner. And of course it is Ingo from Germany, who I have conversed with a good few times via email. Ingo, congratulations. You've got to send us your t-shirt size, mate. So I don't know, is it Nigel, is it me that gives up my t-shirt, or you?
Well, one of us.
One of us
is definitely
one of us has got to give up the
going
t-shirt.
on naked.
Yeah, that's right. We might give it a wash before we send it, you know.
Maybe.
Anyway, yeah, give us your size, or if you fancy the 40 years of the Korgis cartoon t-shirt, you can have, the 40 years of the Korgis t-shirt, you could have that if you fancy that instead. Whichever you think suits you best. Because I can't remember whether I think you had vinyl, or you might have had a box set. If you had a box set, you probably already got this t-shirt, but you might want one for a friend, you know. So just let us know. Let us know what would you like. And congratulations. I'll tell you what, I think that probably deserves a round of applause. Well done, Ingo. Brilliant stuff. Great that somebody won this week, because, you know, we love giving away stuff, you know. If we can't give away stuff, we become very unhappy.
He had ordered the box. It's just
I thought he'd ordered the box. Yeah. People who order the box set seem to stick in my mind. But yeah, I know we had a few conversations. So congrats, Ingo. Really good stuff. So I think that is it for this week. We'll leave this stream open for like five minutes or so at the end of it, just in case if anyone wants to catch up a little bit, or if there's anything you forgot to ask, you can ask. Ingo, we've already got your address, but just let me know what you would like. The normal place. There we are. So all I have to do is sign off and say See you next week. Unless we see you at the 100 Club tomorrow. Hope we do. Here we go. Thank you, guys.